Does that also kind of imply that he's been doing this for a few years, like he's killed other people? Because I don't know if it ever directly shows anything or says anything, but just the thought of him dealing with this for like at least the past decade, because I think they say he killed his mother when he was like 10 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you do have this vibe too. And then there's that scene too that there's these little things that start to pile up, like when he takes off the picture and looks into the room, and he on purposely gives her the key to that room so that he can look through. So it's clear that he's been doing this for years. But I just found it interesting that he never they never find another body later on or something like that. It's really just based on Janet at this point. But there is this sense that there's like a history here with him that he might have been doing this with other people.
Oh yeah, and Hitchcock does everything in his power with the visuals to kind of like make you, despite Anthony Perkins' performance, which is very genuinely charming, to make you still feel uneasy about how charming he is.
Yeah, and I love as he gets more nervous. Like at first he's very put together, very charming, very articulate, and then
he's mastered the performance. Yeah,
right. And then as the pressure builds, he starts to have like a stutter, and he starts getting more nervous and more closed in with his body language and stuff. It's such a natural and great performance. It's really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he turns on her in that conversation at one point when she suggests putting the mother in an institution.
Right.
And he's just like, a boy's best friend is his mother.
Yeah. Dude, and this is kind of a bit of a sidetrack, but I think it really shows just the imagery that Hitchcock could come up with. I used to watch, I think I brought this up a couple times with a few movies because they always reference them, but I used to love The Simpsons, like seasons 1 to 10. And there's this great part where Principal Skinner is talking to somebody and he looks out the window and then the lighting changes and he gets all like shadowy and stuff. And he you know he has that relationship with his mother where it's very unhealthy, very, very much like this psycho thing. And you see a figure in a faraway house that's exactly designed like the Psycho house. And he's just like, "Oh, there you are, mother, looking at me from across the field." And then does this whole thing. And as a kid, I obviously hadn't seen Psycho, but that always stuck with me. Like just that image and that thought was so dark. Even doing it as a comedy in The Simpsons was always so dark and impactful that I just think it's a testament to Alfred Hitchcock's visuals, just and his ideas in general. Like the guy is just beyond a master. He's unbelievable. Just the fact that I can make that connection that this has to be based on something incredible in a Simpsons episode. You know, like he's just
having not like seen it.
And having not seen it. And so when I saw this, I'm just like this, like the impact that this has made is truly unbelievable.
Yeah, no, 100%. His style. I mean, it is interesting though that like hardly anyone like really tried to replicate or imitate him stylistically in ways. They kind of just like took like basic shot construction ideas and certain, some of the stuff from the shower scene with the stabbing or the shot of Anthony Perkins coming out with the knife in the overhead shot. Like sudden scares like that have been taken. But like, what really I think sends him over the top and over the edge as a visual filmmaker is, for example, something small, something like when he's sitting there having that conversation with her and he's talking about the idea of traps and they're talking about their lives. And I think she says sometimes we deliberately step into those traps. Mm-hmm. And he says, "I don't mind," or something like that. That's what they're talking about. But the shot transitions from like these, reverse shot conversations of people talking, which, by the way, Hitchcock has always said that he hated. He said that was why he invented this kind of like pure cinema idea, was because photographs of people talking were like the death of him. That was how he described it.
So is that why you have Anthony Perkins like with the owl in the background when they're just talking? Like,
well, that's exactly the shot I was going to bring up. The low angle shot of him in profile with the owl's wings, like basically hunting prey, like perched and ready to jump on someone.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why he would find an angle. And again, he wouldn't do it for no reason. He would do it because clearly he thinks, or Anthony Perkins feels like he's looking at prey right now.
Right.
And we don't know that yet. But that is like the feeling you get from that image when you look at it now, is you just look at that owl very menacingly flying down, looking like it's going to like pick up a rat or something.
Right.
And that is the relationship that's actually happening here, which is expressed in the next scene. Because right after this is when he looks in the peephole at her, get into the shower, and then he comes in and kills her in the shower in the really famous
And there's
scene that has like 70 different extreme close-ups in it.
And I always feel like every time I watch this, I always feel like there's more of Janet and Norman interacting before the actual murder happens. But I've come to realize it's
just
very
the one
fast.
conversation.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but I always feel like it's fleshed out when it happens. But
Well, because I feel like in that scene, the way that they identify with each other's feelings in that scene